Alas, in a time when the nation teetered on the brink of collapse, there emerged a man who wielded the pen to shoulder the heavy burden of the realm. That man was Nguyen Trãi. He was not merely a civil official of literary renown. He was the very spiritual essence of an era, one dedicated to rebuilding a shattered dynasty from the ashes of war and fire. Born into a family steeped in Confucian tradition, yet raised amidst the tragedy of a lost nation in a broken home, his heart came early to bear a twofold sorrow. One part for his own lineage, and one part for the fate of the state. With his father taken captive to the north and his homeland submerged beneath the iron hooves of the Ming invaders, that humiliation was seared into his heart like a cold blade that remained embedded there, never to be withdrawn. The common man, when faced with turmoil, seeks only to preserve his own life. The truly great man, however, offers his very self to settle the nation's debt of honor. Nguyen Trãi was precisely such a man. Upon meeting Lê Lợi in the highlands of Lam Son, where a valiant hero encountered a harder world-shaking vision, their grand strategies and lofty ambitions merged to form a formidable chariot, capable of rolling unyielding through the very winds of bloodshed. Throughout the 10 years of resistance, he did not merely oversee military correspondence. He poured his entire intellect and spirit into fathoming the human heart and assessing the shifting tides of the times, thereby paving the way for the principles of benevolence and righteousness to precede the clash of arms. Posterity often remembers the sword and spear as the instruments that drove out the mighty foe. Yet, in truth, there are great victories that begin with the stroke of a pen, one capable of striking directly at the very core of the human spirit. Each letter of persuasion, each indictment of the enemy's crimes, each heartfelt appeal, all bore the offensive force of a truly great intellect, causing the enemy beyond the city walls to lose much of their fighting spirit, even before a single battle had been joined. He championed the principle of taking benevolence and righteousness as the foundation, not a benevolence of weakness or frailty, but a benevolence of sufficient strength and resilience to sustain the entire monumental task of national restoration. And when the Bingo Dai Cao finally came into being, the southern realm seemed to burst open into a vast expanse of light, much like the clear skies that break forth after a 1,000-mile storm. That proclamation of victory was not merely a declaration of triumph. It was the voice of an entire nation rising up, using moral principle to redefine its identity before the heavens and the earth. In the person of Nguyen Trãi, literature was never divorced from affairs of state, nor did affairs of state ever stray from a deep compassion for the people. He viewed the people as the very root of the nation. He felt as his own the suffering of the common folk. Consequently, his writing shined ever brighter. The more one rereads it, the more one seems to hear the sighs of the populace interwoven into every single word. But alas, the brighter a man shines, the more easily he is besieged by the shadows. High merit, immense talent, and an upright heart in the turbulent political climate of those times. These qualities were often not a blessing but a curse. His life, once dedicated to absolute loyalty to the nation, ultimately ended in the unjust tragedy of the late Nguyen affair, causing a great star to be extinguished amidst accusations so heartbreakingly cruel. Any descended reading of this moment cannot help but feel a chill in their heart for a founding hero of the realm, a magnificent soul of the nation, ultimately could not escape the entangling web of suspicion woven by the vicissitudes of worldly affairs. Fortunately, time is the greatest judge of all. An injustice may cast a shadow over a single lifetime, but it cannot forever obscure a truly great character. Nguyen Trãi has long since transcended the mere role of a courtier, transforming instead into the enduring voice of wisdom, benevolence, and the indomitable spirit of Dai Viet. In closing this chapter, let me offer a final thought. The reason Nguyen Trai's name endures for all eternity is precisely that he channeled his patriotic heart into a beacon of light for the nation. Though his own person suffered grave injustice, his literature and his virtue continue to stand tall beneath the southern skies for all time to come.